Hey guys, Joel's back with another message of divine light just for you. And today I'm going to be talking about the motions that we have as we're manifesting and if it's really necessary to stay in that high vibe state the whole way through. But before I begin, I gotta say, if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more content, and shoot me a comment down below because I'm always open to new suggestions and conversation. And that's what this is all about, building a high vibe community where we actually feed off of each other and manifest the world that we've all come here to live in. But with that being said, I'm going to jump right into it. Is it necessary to live in a high vibe, bouncing of the balls vibration when you're manifesting in order to manifest that best state of being? Because what that best state of being embodies is that excitement, is that fulfillment, and is that fullest version of yourself. But is that necessary when you really implant the subconscious mind with a scene that is actually proper and capable of manifesting that finished goal? Now, there are some teachers out there when it comes to the world of manifesting that say you have to be in that final state of being in order to magnetize what is effective to that state of being into your life reality. But the truth of the matter is that people that are depressed, that are ultimately decimated with life, can still manifest those things that sometimes those of us that have a more optimistic point of view are wondering, like, how did they manifest that? But the truth is that that story is in their subconscious. So whether their conscious mind is relaying those stories over and over and over again doesn't matter. It's what's in the subconscious mind, which is the conduit to awareness. And from awareness, awareness is like the light bulb in the projector that projects through the film, and the film being the version of ourselves that we have in our subconscious, through which that light is projected onto the film or the screen of space-time. And that is our life experience of those intrinsic beliefs and paradigms and assumptions. You know, Neville Goddard talks about this in his ladder experiment. He says, before you go to bed, visualize yourself climbing a ladder and keep doing this. But while you're awake, forget about the ladder. Even go so far as to say, I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. And invariably, all of the people that did this experiment ended up climbing a ladder, and myself included. This was one of the very first experiments that I conducted. And I ended up climbing a ladder in which I had no choice but to climb a ladder because it was part of the job that I had to do. And that is the way the universe unfolds. It will just show up and you will have no choice but to follow through with it. And even if it's not your own action, it will show up. In my last video talking about how I manifested a specific person, I went to bed in the state of being of the wish fulfilled. And I imprinted that on my subconscious mind. But when I got back up, it was like, is this ever going to happen? Is it possible? So even the conscious mind doesn't play such a real effect in the manifestation unfolding. But I actually want to talk about a very specific incident that came to mind a few years ago when I first started getting into manifesting on a really deep level. I was at the work party, and it was interesting because I had my interest in this specific person. And this is a pretty vulnerable story for me to be sharing, but I'm going to be sharing it anyway because the information is so crucial to understand that we are not ruled by that state of being consistently. As long as that state of being is imprinted into the subconscious, our conscious mind can waver and it won't really matter that much. So back to the story. I had my eyes on this specific person and I had manifested a few things, but I really wanted to manifest, the real connection, so to speak. And I was there at the work Christmas party and everything was going smooth. And then they showed up and I was like, all right, let's get it on. But then someone else showed up, a third party. And all of a sudden it was like, everything fell apart right in front of my eyes. And I wondered, like, what's going on here? I manifested, I visualized, I did all of these things, and I was doing my best to stay in the state of being of that wish fulfilled. So I took 5 and I went to the washroom and I really assessed, what is the inner state of being? And I realized there were some beliefs inside of me that we're manifesting right now. Beliefs of doubt, beliefs of insecurity, beliefs of inadequacy, and all this longingness that I didn't even realize I had up until that point when I reassessed and looked at it all. And now when I go back and read some of my scripting from that time, I can see it. It's so plain in front of me. But back then, it was like I did these imaginal acts, and I believed I set them forth and they were supposed to come to me. But now why is this happening? And it's the same thing. If we don't address the state of being that's really inside of us and we kind of fake it till we make it, there's still stuff inside of us that will manifest, and we can fake it till we make it through all of that. But why do you want to? Why do you want to be staring at, your wish being taken by somebody else, like not even 2 feet away? And that's what happened to me the first time that night. And I said, this is ridiculous. So I took that 5 and I just said, let's reassess these beliefs. Let's get to the bottom of it and let's change this right now. So I went in and I reassessed those beliefs of inadequacy or third party or any of that. And I went back out there and I stayed strong. And I knew that my visualization that I set forth in that washroom at the work party was a done deal. And the night had its ups and downs, sure. But then all of a sudden I was just sitting there minding my own business, and she's walking by and she trips and she just falls into my lap. And I'm like, hey, so what's up? And we started chatting. And then the next thing you know, she's like, oh, it's getting late. We should probably go home. And I'm like, well, you know what? I have my car here. And the next thing you know, I'm giving her and her friend a ride. And we're cruising down the highway. And not only that, then she's like, oh, you know what? I don't want to just go home right now. I want to hang out. And so we cruised down the most opulent neighborhood in the city. And we had some fun down there. I won't say exactly what happened because, this is a family-friendly channel for one thing. But after that, it was just like, I manifested that. And everything in my life I've manifested. There's not a moment in time when we're not manifesting. But when we really take the time and address those things that might be being ignored by our conscious mind because they're too touchy or too sensitive for us to deal with, we can actually stop that from reoccurring rather than us ignoring it and it's still being a seed in our subconscious and then it manifesting at the worst time ever. But it's never too late because you can manifest anything you want. And even if it manifests, like I said, right in front of your eyes and you're watching a third party make out with your specific person, you can turn that around for your benefit, even beyond all that you asked or thought. Because that is the nature of Source and that is the power that is in us to tap into. So that is the video for today. I just wanted to share that because, there's a lot of controversy in the law of attraction, law of assumption. Which is it? Are you supposed to stay in the state of the being of the wish fulfilled, or are you just supposed to implant it and forget it? All of these things are a topic, but I have systematically come to a conclusion on how to manifest anything that you want. And if you can get your ego out of the way and really step into that state of being, you can manifest your deepest desires and nothing will stand in the way. In fact, the universe itself will harmonize and coalesce into that version of your vision that you've set forth. So I love you guys. We are tapping in and we are manifesting our truest self. So if you do want to manifest your truest self, check out my 10-day course. Link is down in the description where I go through 10 exercises that you can do day by day to uproot the negative assumptions that you might have and to really harness a state of being where you are abundant. And if you really want to tap in and address some manifestation that you might be having trouble with, consider checking out my personalized manifesting coaching, where I can guide you through everything that you might be doing wrong, that we don't even see what we as ourselves are doing wrong in our manifestation. Like I said about the scripting that I did before, I thought it was perfect until I went back with new knowledge and really saw like, man, this is coming from a real state of lack. So I can help you through that. And if you really don't feel like you need any of these programs, but you really like this channel, consider making a donation. Link is down below. What you put out is what you get back. And when we engage with these laws of the universe, then we can actually reap a harvest on par with what we've put out. So I love you guys. Consider joining the Discord chat as well, because there's some really great things coming with that. And I'll check you in a future video. Joel signing out once again. Agape. Salaam. Namaste. Hotep.